Hello good people, I am back. Let's make sure I have everything I need on. If you're, yeah sir, you're gonna have to cross carefully. We're on a live.
All right, you can cross carefully.
Yeah, you're on a live.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, welcome to the stream. We are trying to fill and stack a cake under warm weather conditions. It's about 24 headed to 26 degrees C here, people. So the way I fill cakes and stack them is going to be completely different today than the other days you've seen me fill and stack a cake. And if I look like I'm melting, I am hot, and I am actually melting under this, but I am committed to bringing you the entire process. So this buttercream was made yesterday. We have reformulated it in just the previous video that you can check out. I have gone ahead and created the base, which is important, but I will redo that for you to see how we got here. It was important to set the cake up before I started. The simple reason is it is going to be the foundation of the cake, and to stop it from slipping and sliding, there is a cake board which is like this. It's a 6-inch. The cake is a 6-inch, so you need a board the same diameter as the cake, and then the cake is stacked on it. First on the work surface is ganache, and then goes a cake board, then ganache, and then the first layer of cake. I'll show you how I did that, but I needed to do that so that the base will set before I start to fill the cake. Now we have gone and set our buttercream. If you want to see how we reformulated the buttercream, you can check in the last video I posted. So we are just going to go ahead from the buttercream we saw earlier that looked like it needed saving. Well, we've managed to save it a little bit. I can't tell you I will be able to stack. People, tell me, I don't even have the cake I'm stacking. I'm gonna go get it. Okay, I'm hot. If you're feeling a cake in this weather, did I tell you you have to work quickly? And quickly, I was working. It's not cooling down, Tabitha. I talk about cooling down, my dear. You are on your own. It's not cooling down at all. If anything, it is hot, and I am completely bothered by this weather. The amount of buttercream you are using in between a cake will be important in this weather. But the more I have used, I have had to scrape the rest over. And then another cake goes. And as you can see, because the buttercream has firmed up and the base of the cake is already set, there's no shifting here. But if you're a beginner, if you stack it to this point, please don't be ambitious. Remember, these cake slices have chilled, as in these cake layers have been left to chill, okay? And I have taken steps to make sure that the cake is stable from shifting and sliding. It takes intention, it takes confidence, and understanding how the weather affects your results, which is something I have considered closely before even attempting. So remember that when you're watching a tutorial and your favorite creator is not telling you why they are doing certain things, if you've been on this channel, if you go back and watch previous videos, you will see that I fill my cakes completely different. In fact, I fill them and the process is very simple. This isn't simple because, as you can see, I had to work the base. And as we are even doing this, I am working quickly so that the cake doesn't come to room temperature, or the buttercream doesn't begin to melt on me. There you go. And then the final cake goes on it. We have 5 layers of cake. And there you go. At this point, the reason why the cake is not shifting and sliding, the reason is the layers are chilled. Buttercream was left in the fridge. From the time we were last here, which is about 40 minutes ago when we were last here, the buttercream has been sitting in the fridge. And what I've done is at every 15 to 20 minutes, I go and I stir it together so that one side doesn't set hard than the other side, which means I have had a very stable consistency that is stirred together, which is what has been used to fill this cake. Okay. But if I stay here talking to you longer than I need, this cake will collapse on me. So at this point, if you're a beginner, this is expert level results. Believe me, this is expert level result, especially under these conditions. But if you're a beginner, a tip here is once you stack 3 layers following the exact process I have recommended, go leave the cake to chill and then come back and add the other 2. Don't be overzealous and don't be ambitious, because what I've just done here is 10 years of experience. Okay, so the best tip here is stack 3 layers, 2 layers, however possible. Go and leave it to set. But like I said, if I keep talking to you, look, can you see I'm flustered? I am looking for cling film and I can't find it, and I can't even waste time looking for cling film. That is how much the weather will get you confused. I forgot my cake layers and I also forgot my cling film. So let's go and put this cake in the fridge to set, and I will come back and show you how I made the base. Now, a good tip to know that you may have issues with your buttercream is the bulge. If I leave this cake here, the weight is going to start falling on the bottom, and then it will begin to bulge up, and that's when you know that your buttercream is giving way. This cake is going to be covered with ganache, so I am not too worried about the bulge. Plus, the excess buttercream on the side will be cleared off, because I'm going to come back later and I'll trim this cake to set nicely before I crumb coat with ganache. The consistency of ganache we derived yesterday is going to be excellent for covering this cake and maintaining a level of stability. So hopefully, as a beginner, I hope this video has taught you how you can put a cake together in warm weather conditions by filling and stacking it with ease. Now let me go put that in the fridge, and I'll come back and I'll show you step by step how I did the base. Okay, that's the base layer. Because if the base layer is not set completely, this cake would have kind of shifted and fallen and given me like a wonky cake already. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. I am hot. Okay, now the base requires a board. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a board. Now, why this board? This board or any other board that comes into contact with the turntable functions as the turntable, functions as the work surface, right? So that you can either work on your cake board or cake surface, which will also double as the display surface. If I was doing that, I'd be using a masonite board, the white board that is MDF coated. That's also food safe. But in this case, there's a foil covered white board. I am working on this board so that I can transfer the cake. Hence, it is really important. Why is the transfer? That's a conversation I'll have another time. So this is my work surface. It's not my display surface. And the same intention applies to the cake we have just put in the fridge. It will be transferred onto a decorated board. And that function is suitable for when you have a board that is specifically designed to match the cake, or you don't want any contact of your display board coming into contact with the cake before you finish your work, because some of the boards do stain with the oils and handling. So the simple reason why I am using a work surface is for transfer purposes, because this will not be my ultimate display surface. So on my turntable is a board, which is my work surface, and onto that another board is going. This is what you call a drum. Look, and the cake drum functions to enable stability of your cake by breaking the weight of the towering layers that are coming down on the cake, but it also seals your cake in from the bottom from exposure and makes for easy transfer. So to secure this board or drum to the work surface, I have ganache here, and as you can see, the ganache is very loose. That's because the weather is warm and it's not coming to set properly. So what I did was applied a little bit of ganache as glue, then goes onto this board. When you've done this, please leave this tube to chill in the fridge. And when you do, it's not the board you are essentially chilling, but you are exposing the ganache to cold air, which should glue the two boards together. If you don't do that and you introduce a cake onto this, by the time you come to using, let me just use that as a, see, you're moving it around the cake, look, it's shifting. Can you see what I mean? Right. So leave this to chill completely. Leave this to chill completely, then bring it back. The chilling is about 5 to 10 minutes. Give it 10 minutes maximum. Then come back and then apply ganache again. And then introduce your first layer. So what I did was, after adding my first layer here, I just went ahead and I added ganache to that to kind of seal the cake in and ensure that when I go and chill my first layer, the entire cake will be set. And there you have it. See, because I haven't chilled it, can you see how it's moving? Look, it's not centered anymore. It keeps moving. So, and this is without much pressure at all. Same thing will happen if you try to stack a cake without this chilling and setting properly. So this is what I did exactly by chilling this before stacking my cake, which is the result you've seen, that my cake, even in this warm weather, has stacked. We have 5 layers that will stand a little close to 9 inches tall for a cake. So yeah, if you want to stack a cake in a cold weather, in a warm weather conditions, it requires technique and understanding your process. The less time you work on the cake, the less contact you have with your buttercream, the better your results will be for you. So I'm pleased the cake has been stacked. It's refrigerated now. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to tidy up. It will be my son's bedtime routine soon. So I'm not sure I'll be able to continue this tutorial. I can't promise, because I'm getting very hot and it's 7 p.m. Yes, Tabitha is saying, what's the theme of the cake I'm decorating? The theme is a pink theme 21st birthday. In fact, let me go ahead. So now that I've showed you, let me move this away from here. Okay. And then I will show you some of the decorative elements. Let me wash my hands. Stacking a cake in warm weather conditions is not for the faint-hearted, okay? I forgot the cake. Organizing, a tip here, keeping organizing it organized is really important. Everything I did, I had to plan. The cake literally had to come out last, because if you bring the cake out first before you're doing everything else, the time the cake is sitting down, the weather conditions are affecting and it is melting. Okay, so you want to make sure your cake is kept cool. Under these conditions, if I had an AC, it will work. Okay, I have a portable AC. I can put the tube out in the garden and it will cool the place up, works efficiently. Problem though is that AC, because it's portable, is like woo, and if I put that here, I won't be able to make the live at all, right? So I have to choose my battles. I have to choose actually showing you the process or going for convenience. And either way, I am more interested in showing you the conditions in real time so that you will know. And that's the joy of the lives. I did say I was going to show you some of the decorative materials. Okay, let's see. Right, it has a palm leaf, some balls around it. You know what, in terms of its style, it is similar to the bee themed cake, if you like, but with slightly different decorative details. We're looking at like a custom name charm, the 21st birthday gold mirror topper, selection of dried flour and the palm leaf, and some polystyrene gold balls. The detail on the cake itself is going to be pink and gold with some stenciling and floral details. So it's similar to the bee themed cake with a different set of decorative elements, because this is for a 21st birthday celebration. So that's what we have. Lollipop is back. Whilst we're here, if you haven't already liked or subscribed, please do before we go off, because you know what, I know I'm not like chatting a lot and stopping. That is because I am focused on just bringing you along the process, whilst also trying to look out for myself because it's very warm. But at least the cake is chilling. And yeah, the ganache we made yesterday, I haven't done anything to it. The ganache remains the same, but it's at room temperature now, and at the consistency we have it, it's going to work. But I'm too hot to even bother. Okay, the ganache I was using is some leftover ganache that I labeled from the bee themed cake, and it's transferable. Like when I make ganache and I make excess portion, they can transfer to other things as long as there's no cross contamination or specific preferences. You know, so that is ganache from earlier and not the same one. But for this, I have to leave it on the countertop and then reconstitute it so that we can use it for covering our cake. And that is where we are. So people, I'm gonna try. I'm hot. Who feels hot too? If you feel hot, let us know. Do you feel hot? Tabitha is asking, I thought it was evening. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. I told you. Like, the hot weather, when it cools down, it doesn't cool down like because it's in the evening. You can only begin to feel the cool somewhere around 11 p.m. midnight-ish. it's really bad. Like, because our buildings are also not built for this weather, so they hold on to the heat longer. So it's awful. I feel hot. Like, I can see myself on the camera and I feel like my face is melting. It's shiny. Tabitha, you're in long sleeves because your weather is what? What is the weather? What's the temperature? It's cooler up in Oregon, right, Tabitha? I think this is the only time I want to swap the weather for Oregon. Okay, this is the only time I want to do that, but I can't. You are it. At least, you know what? Oh, Lollipop says I'm in PJs and sandals. Lollipop, you're not alone. In my head, I'm in my drawers, lying in a pole somewhere, flashing my neighbors in my head. But of course, if I showed up like that on this channel, I think you will be calling for help for me. And YouTube will be canceling me, okay? I can't do that. So people, let's just leave it as that so that I can tidy up, reset, and then get on to other things. I think we'll call it so for today, okay? And then when the cake is done, I'll post it up. Hopefully you have some extra content. Tabitha was asking what my schedule is for this week. Because it's half term, I don't know yet. I would say it won't be, I'm not here for the early part. At least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I won't be here on the live at all. If I will, it will be towards the end of the week. And so what I'll do is I will post up any updates. But I'm unlikely to be here at least tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, because it's half term and I have obviously mothering commitments, you know. So yeah, I'll keep you updated, Tabitha. So check back in the community post for more, okay? And yeah, thank you for spending my Sunday with me. I am happy to spend this Sunday with you just in real time so you can see some of the struggles of working with cakes under these difficult warm weather conditions. But hopefully the cake comes together. The process wasn't easy though. So if you are watching and you really want to see the true process of how we made the cake that ended up burning, people, the cake overbaked, the buttercream fell apart, the ganache was just about holding itself together, and I had to wake up. The cake we've just stacked, I had to rebake this morning, right? And I tell you what, keeping it all honest, when I rebaked it, it sank a little bit. Oh God, it's been a lot, okay? But we have a cake, and the customer, I am sure, would be pleased nonetheless. So let's get this all done and check the community post for updates. Our community post is such an engaging place to be. So if you haven't already joined us, you are missing out, okay? But that said, I've already posted a long form how to make a stackable lemon cake. Go support us by watching. And let's start again. Lollipop, you did suggest the game of a game that we should play under the comment section. Maybe you should go and start it under the lemon cake video, and then we will all follow suit accordingly. For the rest of you who are just passers by, hope you had fun with us today, and we'll see you on the next one. Love you all. Mwah.